If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. Happy Friday. Anybody doing anything exciting this weekend? Um, TikTok is sending notifications out. YouTube does not do that. They do not. I don't believe that they give you a notification. Good morning. Is it Hawaii? Good morning for Fernando. Good morning, Rashi. Good morning, me. What do people call you? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Happy Friday. Anybody doing anything exciting this weekend? Good morning, Janice. Where are you coming in from? Good morning, CB. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I live about 40 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Richie. If you can like my live, whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel, I'd really appreciate it. I am live streaming in two places. I have software that lets me do that. I've got TikTok up on my phone and I've got YouTube on my MacBook Pro. If you're jumping on, good morning, John. Good morning, Tail. Good morning, Barb. Good morning, Ira. Good morning. Is it JE123? What do people call you? Good morning, C Talk. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. Hello, is it Federico? If I'm not pronouncing that correctly, welcome. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know why you're on social media. I'd love to know why you're on social media. Um, yeah, if you could like my video, whether you're on my YouTube channel or you're on my TikTok account, I am live streaming in two places. I'd really appreciate that. It would help my account out. Good morning, Robin. Good morning, Ruth. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'd love to know where you're coming in from and why you're on social media. If you can like my video, I would really appreciate it. Good morning. Good morning. I am Grum Na. Is that what people call you? I know people use all kinds of different things for their handles, names. I've branded myself because I do online marketing and making money from home. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Robin. And I teach other people how to do the same thing. Actually, this month is my 14-year anniversary in this industry. I haven't worked a job in 9. And I made a post about that yesterday on Facebook that this month is my 14-year anniversary. Good morning, Monica. And I just recorded a video. Actually, I haven't put it on my account, about people who work in corporate America and work 9 to 5 jobs. Do you work in corporate America and work a 9 to 5 job? Good morning, Carmen. There's a lot of people because prices of everything have gotten to be so high. They're working more than one job. Some people working 2 or even 3 jobs because they can't make ends meet. Good morning, Marilyn. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, is it Sherry? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you could like my video, I'd really appreciate it, whether you're on TikTok or my YouTube channel. It helps my account out. I'd really appreciate that. If you're jumping on, good morning. Ooh, there's just a picture of somebody and a number. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Grace. Some people do not put their names on their social media profiles. And really, no matter what reason you're using social media, you want to put your name in a good picture or something that people call you. Thank you, Monica, for liking the live. I really appreciate it. Because the way you set up your profile, you want people, it doesn't matter what platform you're on, you want to people to know what you're about and why you're on social media. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. I tell people in my bio that I go live thank you for the rose, Grace. I really appreciate it. That I go live every single day on TikTok. And then I've got a link there with my website, paydaily.com. I have a free PDF I give out of a blueprint, a 2-hour workday blueprint that I'm using. So I'm inviting people to, come to my profile, go to my website. They can get it's a free PDF that I have. And it is ideal if no matter what you're doing, that you have something free you can give people away in exchange for their email list. And I did a training on one of these about email marketing. Somebody asked me to do one on social media marketing. But if you're using social media, and it doesn't matter what the reason is, you want to be using email marketing, because if you're sending people, good morning, Michelle, good morning, Minna, if you're sending people to just a page with information or a replicated website or a sales page, you only have that one opportunity to talk to them and then they're gone. Yeah, if you could like my video, I'd really appreciate it. You only have that one opportunity to talk to them, and then after that, they're gone. And most people have to see something. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Debbie. Thank you, Monica, for liking the live. I really appreciate it. You only have that one opportunity to talk to them, and then they're gone. If you get them, send them to a capture page or a website where you can get their email address, get them on your email list so you can keep talking to them. And that's where the automation comes in, because you can set up having emails going out automatically 24/7, no matter what you're doing. So you can keep talking to them, because the truth is, most of us are on here, we're selling something. Most people have to see something multiple times before they make a buying decision. And to give you an example, I had somebody got on my email list last October of 2024. I did talk to her a few times on TikTok, but she ended up buying something from me in July. She was on my email list for 10 months before she did anything. And you want to be generating leads. You can use social media for free, getting people on your email list and then nurturing the leads. Because yeah, I do get some sales on first touch, but most people are gonna have to see something multiple times before they buy it. So yeah, good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Debbie. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Marketing with Joe, where you're coming in from. So I do online marketing, making money from home. That's why I'm here. And I've been doing this actually this month. It's 14 years. I haven't worked a full-time job in 9. I don't need a job. I don't want a job. And I started doing this after I lost my job. And that was like 14 years ago. I worked in cancer research. I couldn't find another job. Worst job market ever. People were getting like 1,500 applications. If your application or your resume made it out of the stack, I got a total of 3 interviews for over a whole year of me looking, and they were making you not just fill the application out and send your resume, but they were giving tests because they were getting so many applications. They would sort you out by that, because if they're getting that, whatever applications they were getting, and they were getting a lot because so many people were looking for work, somebody's got to go through that on their end, and that takes time. So they were giving you tests, and most applications ended up, you spent 2 to 3 hours. And most of the time, I just get an automated email saying, thanks for applying. If we're interested, we'll contact you. And then never hearing anything. And now, I mean, you could literally go get a job. I mean, where I live in the Northeast, on the East Coast of the United States. Just about every place I go, they've got a sign up that they're hiring. They're looking for people. You could get a job doing something that you've never done before, because they're so desperate to hire people, and then they'll train you. In fact, I was in LabCourse getting some blood work done, and I was talking to the technician, and I said, how long did you have to go to school to learn this? And she said to me, well, I didn't. She said, I didn't have the money. She said, I got a job at a hospital, and they trained me. So she started working at a hospital first, and she probably agreed to work there for like a year or two or whatever. And they taught her how to draw blood, and she didn't go to school. And that people are so hard up looking for people. Like I was out to dinner, it was a couple weekends ago, actually for my birthday, and the waitress that was waiting on us, she just wasn't waiting on us and other tables. She was doing busboy things, like the table that was empty that needed to be cleaned up, and the dirty dishes and all that taken and cleaned up for somebody else. She was doing that too, because they don't have someone. So then that was her waiting on tables, which is that's what I believe that she was hired to do. It was taking her longer because she was not just doing that, but she was cleaning up the tables because they didn't have anybody. So, I mean, the job market is very different now than when I lost my job. And you could literally walk into any place. And I said to somebody this woman's been following me. She's been living in her car for like the last 2 years. I said, why don't you go get a job like a Walmart or Target or one of those, and start getting some money coming in? Maybe you can rent a room in somebody's house, and because that would be better than living in her car. And she said to me, well, she said, I don't want to do a menial job like that. And I said, well, no offense, but if I were you, I wouldn't be picking and choosing, because the fact is that she's living in her car. She has to use the bathroom. She has to, go drive her car to someplace like McDonald's. And I say McDonald's because they've got the cleanest bathrooms. To use the bathroom, she has no place like to take a shower or any of that. And she's living with her cat, so she's got 2 mouths to feed. And if I was in that situation, how badly I'd want to get myself out of it. because like to be living like that, and then with the with different weather and all that, and then she's got to find some place to park the car, which she's parking on somebody's property. Whether she get, and I don't know if I'd want to be parking in a parking lot of like a Walmart or a shopping center or something, and being there all night, because you don't know who comes in and out when all those stores are closed, and even if she locked her doors, how safe it is. Good morning. Is it Teenage Tuna? Good morning, Angie. If you're jumping on, good morning, Doreen. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you could like my live, I'd really appreciate it. It helps my, whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel, it doesn't matter. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Eric. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. TikTok does show me people coming on. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Bonnie. And is it Tina Tuna '07? Is that what people call you? People, I'm learning so much about since I've on these social media platforms. I've always put my name in because I have a business and I'm branding myself. But a lot of people don't even put a name in. And what TikTok does, it assigns you a user number. It's usually a really long number because you haven't put a name in. Good morning, Steamboat Willie. Good morning, Jewelry. Is that what people call you? Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Eric. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. I'm here. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. Anybody doing anything exciting this weekend? And I think the thing with these lives that people don't like to come on and say, why they're on or where they're coming in from, because there's really no accountability. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to show your face. And if you think about it, how much time do you spend scrolling on social media? And I know a lot of people, you may say, well, I'm just getting on for 10 or 15 minutes. And then 30 minutes goes by, and then an hour, and then 2 hours. If you're on social media, why not get paid for it? Because TikTok pays me. And you can get monetized. I beat monetized on Instagram, but they discontinued their program. I'm working on YouTube. I was monetized, but they pay you for using the actual platform. And that's aside from anything else you're doing. So if you're on social media, why not get paid? Good morning, Louisa. Good morning, Maui. Good morning. Is it COMI Encore? What do people call you? Good morning, Carolyn. So my whole thing is, why not get paid for it? Because these platforms are $1 billion platforms. There's people making tons of money from it. Good morning. Is it Faye? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. Anybody doing anything exciting this weekend? And it's funny that most people don't. Good morning, Bernadette. Louisa, if you want to know what I do, and I've been doing this now for 14 years, it's digital marketing. Come up all the way to the top of my profile. You're on my TikTok account. In the bio, there's my website, payudaily.com. Click on that, put your email address in, watch the 2 videos, read the page. You'll get an email from me. Read that. There's a link in there. I have a free PDF of the blueprint I'm using. You can keep that. You can download and save that on your computer. It's yours to keep. But I'm following a blueprint, a proven blueprint my mentor did, and she's made like $8 million with it, working 2 hours a day from home. I started doing this, and actually it's 14 years this month. After I lost my job, I couldn't find another one. It was the worst job market ever, and I was broke, unemployed, in foreclosure. I was drowning in $250,000 of debt, and had no idea how I was going to get myself out of this mess. And if I did not find this industry in digital marketing, I don't know that I'd still have my house. I've been doing this now. This month is my 14-year anniversary. I haven't worked a job in 9 years. So you can get this. This is work. The people that are making money, it's because they're coachable, they're consistent, but you can get this down to 2 hours a day. If you're brand new and you've never done this before, it may take you longer till you get faster and you get better at what you're doing. But a lot of you, I believe most of you, you're on social media, and how much you may be spending a lot more time on social media than you realize. You're either looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. And most people, they jump on these lives, and TikTok does show me who's coming on and if somebody liked it and all that. YouTube does not, because you can jump on and off. I do see when somebody jumps off, then they jump back on. I see that, so I know that they jumped off. And a lot of people, there's no, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to show your face. You could be laying on your couch with your phone in your hand and decide to jump on someone's live, or you could be sitting on the toilet for anybody knows. So there's no accountability. It's very different when you're doing what I'm doing and you're actually live streaming. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Alexander. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'm here every day. I do these. I'm here at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I've been doing these now for, actually, it's going on 2 months. Good morning, Amber. Good morning, is it Brian? Good morning, Lolo. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Alexander. I do believe that you're on here for a reason. And most of you just don't want to come out. You could have a message you've got and you're not sure how to do it, or a cause you're promoting. Anyway, if you're using social media, I want to learn how to use it correctly. There's over 5 billion people that you can get in front of about whatever it is that you're doing, and you can do it for free. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Sid. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you could like my live, I'd really appreciate it. Whether you're on my YouTube channel or my TikTok account, I am live streaming in 2 places. I have software that lets me do that. It's the technology today. But I've been working online and working from home. It's 14 years this month. And I had lost my job, and that was like 14 years ago. I had a 2-hour commute, which I do not miss spending that, 2 to 3 hour commute. I do not miss that, driving on most of that was highway driving, putting all those miles in your car, and then was straight driving. On my way home at night, I was starting to fall asleep. And that was probably a couple of months before I lost my job. But I don't miss that, spending that amount of time commuting, and then you're spending 40 hours at a job that I didn't hate my job, but I didn't love it either. How many people are jumping on here? How many of you work jobs? I know there's people out there, you're working more than one job because the one job you have, it's not enough to make ends meet. Good morning, Pink Flamingo. What do people call you? Good morning, Ron. Good morning, Devin. Where are you coming in from? I live outside the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm in the Northeast on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about a 2-hour drive to New York City. Love to know where you're coming in from and why you're on social media. If anybody has any questions, or if you need help with something, I did have some people ask me. I did a training on social media marketing. If I've done it, I'd be glad to do a training on one of these. I can't do a training or teach on something I haven't done. I don't think that's ethical, but I can probably give you a resource. I know a lot of things. I don't know everything. I've met a lot of people, so I could probably point you in the direction of something if you're trying to figure it out. Good morning, Claudia. Good morning, user 2929. I'm not going to say the rest of it. Good morning, TikToker. Good morning, CD. Good morning, Devin. Where are you coming in from? Good morning, user 1498. What do people call you? If you could like my video, I'd really appreciate it. It helps my account out, whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel. If you give it a like, and TikTok also shows me that YouTube does not. The only thing YouTube shows me is the amount of time I've been live streaming, and then the number of people on. It doesn't show me who's on. So if you don't comment, I don't know who's there. And good morning, Gina, Judy. Good morning, Yo Young. Good morning, Gloria. I think most people, you don't want to say something because you don't want people to know that you're there. And lives, you can do that. And TikTok does show me. Good morning, Raquel. Good morning, Call Me Mouse. What do people call you? TikTok does show me who's coming on. And if you go off, then you come back on. I can see that. YouTube doesn't. And TikTok also shows me. Good morning, Raquel. Where are you coming in from? TikTok does show me that. I can, listing up. It also shows me when somebody likes the video, not just people coming on. And if you come off, I know that and then you come back on, I know that you did that. Good morning, Jillian. Raquel, you just got a number 2 gift badger of Mexico. Good morning, Rashi. Good morning, Nikki. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you could like my video, I'd really appreciate it. That helps my accounts out. Whether you're on my TikTok account or YouTube, I am live streaming in 2 places. I've got software that allows me to do that. So if you're coming on, if anybody's got any questions or anything you need help with, I've been doing this for a long time, like 14 years this month. I haven't worked a job in 9 years. In fact, I did a video this morning talking about, do you work in corporate America? Are you working 9 to 5? And there's a lot of people now that, well, and you may not even really like your job, that are working more than one job because they can't make ends meet. And there was a woman in our community. We've got over 55,000 people. She was working 2 jobs. She was exhausted. She never had any time to see her kids or anything. She started doing this, and now she's made enough money that she can leave her both of those jobs. And I've worked more than one job. Actually, I worked a full-time and part-time job, and then I was going to school at night, and it's exhausting. And then if you do have a day off, you're so exhausted, you don't feel like doing anything. It doesn't give you any time to do stuff with your family. It doesn't give you any time to do stuff that you want, or just, do something for yourself because you're so exhausted. I've done that. I've been there. I know what that's like. I've been broke too. And broke is a state of mind. And part of this is mindset. So if you keep saying you're broke, you're going to get more of that. What you plant in your mind is what you get. You should go over to YouTube, search The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, and start listening to that. Because the first time I heard that, I thought it was so profound. But what you plant in your mind is what you get. So if you keep saying you're broke, if you keep saying you don't have the money, if you keep saying you can't afford it, you're just going to get more of that. So don't let the words roll off your lips. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Grace. Good morning, Anne Marie. Don't let those words roll off your lips. And you start listening to Earl Nightingale, and it's about 30 minutes long. It's on YouTube. You can pull the video up on your phone. You can listen to it while you're driving, doing laundry, cooking, whatever, and start listening to that. I know the first time I heard that, I thought it was so profound, but 95% of this is mindset. And as Dr. Doug Fireball had taught me, it's mindset and skill set, and you have to master both. If you don't master your mind, it will master you. And most of you, your mind is running your life. And it doesn't matter. You could be saying you're broke, you're just going to get more of that. You could be saying, I can't do this, you're going to get more of that. You can keep saying, I'm not good enough, you're just going to get more of that, because it is true. And I listened to that video that he did. Listened to that for like every day for a year. And the first time I listened to that, I thought it was so profound. But whatever you keep planting in your mind, you're just going to keep getting more of it. Good morning, Eddie. That was my brother's name, Steady Eddie. So if you keep saying that, you're going to keep getting more and more and more of that. Just don't let the words roll off your lips. And I can't tell you how many times I started training myself not to say that. And then when I needed something, instead of saying, I'm broke, say, if I needed $500, how can I come up with $500? You can learn to retrain your mind. Good morning, Fernando. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Grace. If you're jumping on, let me know good morning, Desiree. Let me know where you're coming in from. If you can like my video, I really appreciate it. It helps my account out. Drop a comment where you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. You're spending time on social media. Why not get paid for it? Good morning, Jay. In fact, TikTok pays me for these live streams, for views on certain videos. I got monetized on that, and I started the posting on this account last June. I reached 100,000 followers and got monetized. I did the same thing with an Instagram account, and I'm close to 100,000 followers over there. Now their monetization program, they stopped it. Otherwise, I'd be monetized over there. But you can literally be making money for the time you're spending on social media. And some of you probably don't realize you're spending a lot more time on social media than you realize. You're scrolling, you say you're only going to go on for 10 or 15 minutes, and that turns into a half an hour, and then an hour, and then 2 hours. Why not get paid for it? And I started doing this, and it was 14 years ago. In August, actually, I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. Worst job market. Good morning, Ree. Worst job market ever. I couldn't find a job. People were getting 1,500 resumes for just one position. So if your resume even made it out of the pack, they even called you to ask you, if you wanted to come in for an interview. I got like 3 interviews in a year. That's how bad the job market was. Couldn't find a job, ended up being broke, unemployed, in foreclosure, was drowning in $250,000 of debt. And I And I think it was God telling me, because I didn't know anyone. I literally went to Google. I searched make money online. I didn't know anyone. I bought a website. They sent me, good morning, George. Good morning, Grace. Good morning. Ooh, I can't see the other person's name. I didn't know anybody. I bought a website. They sent me a 3-page PDF that was showing me how to set up pay-per-click ads, which I did. I spent $3,000 on those. I was sending traffic to a replicated website, which you never want to do. Replicated, that's not what they're for, and they don't convert. And the issue, you only have one chance to talk to the person. You want to be sending people to something, a website or a capture page where you can get their email address and preferably give them away something free that's congruent with what you're doing. And get them on. And you do need a tool called an autoresponder. It's software that lets you attach a website to a series of emails that go out automatically for you. That's where the automation comes in. You have those emails going out for you 24/7, even if you're sleeping, you're doing something else. And you can, that's where the automation is. That's how I've been able, I've woken up to making money. I've made money when I've been doing something else. So you can get this down to 2 hours a day. If you're new, that may take you longer, and there is work involved. I'm not saying that there is, it's a high income skill. You can learn it in 2 weeks, but it's going to take you longer to master it. And that's how, and I've lost 10 TikTok accounts. I lost 3 Instagram accounts because I know what to do. I started on this TikTok account last June, started posting 3 videos. I did the same thing on my Instagram account. I just hit 100,000 followers on TikTok. I got monetized, so they're paying me. I'm close to $100,000 on Instagram. I would be monetized over there, but they discontinued the program. And I was monetized on YouTube. I'm working on getting that back, but these sites will literally pay you for using them. In addition to what you're doing, and you're on your social media, and there's over 5 billion people on social media that you can get exposure to for free. You don't have to do any paid advertising. You can, but if you don't know what you're doing, you can spend a lot of money and not get a return for your money. Good morning, Dan. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you can like my video, whether you're on my TikTok or YouTube account, I really appreciate it. That helps my accounts out. Yeah, and TikTok likes that. And now that the fact is, we don't know, it's the 17th of September today is September 12th, it's less than a week away. President Trump signed another 90-day extension in June to keep TikTok from getting banned in the US. And we still don't know what's going to happen. I haven't heard anything more if he's going to sign another 90-day thing. I don't think a buyer that has the money that's willing to buy TikTok, that doesn't lives anywhere but China, has expressed an interest in buying it. So the whole thing with it being banned, and there's a lot of people from the United States on TikTok every day, and a lot of people doing what I'm doing it. They're using it for a business. There's other people doing it because they're supporting a cause or they have a message that they're trying to get out. And if it does go, I am on other platforms. I use Instagram, I use Facebook, I use YouTube. I have accounts on most of the platforms. And I do think I got on TikTok in 2020, is the easiest platform. I've seen people that have come in this industry that have never gotten any results get on TikTok and get leads and sales. It's a lot easier to learn than something like YouTube. YouTube is a search engine, so you have to learn search engine optimization. Good morning, Philip. Good morning, Michael. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you could like my video, I'd really appreciate it. Whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube. Is anybody doing anything exciting? Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Wayne. And people jump on and off these. And TikTok does show me that. I can't see that on YouTube. And if you jump on and then you jump off and you jump back on again, I see that. TikTok shows me who's coming on. TikTok shows me who's liked the video, or who's sent me, like a heart or something. I can see that because Michael just got the #1 gift badge. Thank you, Michael, for liking my video. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so if you got any questions or there's anything I can help you with, I do online marketing, making money from home. I've been doing this for 14 years. If you have something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to do a training on one of these. If it's something I've done, if it's something I haven't done, I don't think it's ethical to train or teach on something, but I can probably give you a resource. I know a lot of things. I don't know everything. I know a lot of people because if you're trying to figure something out, you want to get around somebody that's done it so you can learn from them. And this is what I'm doing, it's a high income skill. You can learn it in 2 weeks, but that doesn't mean you'll master it in two. And there's a lot of you, we're starting a 90-day thing on the 15th on Monday. It's a run to make $30,000 in 90 days. If anybody's interested in that, go to my website, payudaily.com, or my profile if you're on my TikTok account, and click the website in there. That's my website. Put your email address in, watch the information, and you'll get an email from me. If you got questions, respond to it. But we've been doing these 90-day runs in the community I'm in, and this is the last one for 2025. And I've seen people, make $10, $20, $30,000 doing one of these runs. We show you what to do. Good morning, Carnito Motor. I suggest your accounts about cars. And if you do have, there's plenty of people that have offline businesses or organizations that they're using social media. In fact, one of my sisters has a business and she doesn't do any kind of advertising, organic or paid. It's just through referral. She does physicians billing. But I think for a lot of people, if you're not getting exposure, social media is one of the best ways to do that. I think really anybody that's got a business or a cause, you should be using social media because you have the ability to reach over 5 billion people, which is enormous. Good morning, Deba. Yeah, drop a comment Deba, you've been on my lives before. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, drop a yes. Curious to see who's new here. And I think there's a couple of people I'm seeing, Michael, Bags and things, that you have not been on one of my lives before. Love to know where you're coming in from, why you're on social media. And I do believe, and it's so funny now, I've been doing these lives now for like almost 2 months. When I say, hey, why are you on social media? Nobody wants to answer. I've had maybe a few people, and I've been doing here every day it'll be 2 months on next week, and nobody wants to say that. I do believe that most of you, good morning, Bill, good morning, Shamina, that you are looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. And really, for whatever reason, good morning, Ashley, you're using social media and you could have a cause you're supporting or a message. If you're not using it correctly, you're probably not going to get the results that you want, because there is the right way and the wrong way to use social media. And I get people who, you never want to send something to people. You never want to give people a link to a video or a website or anything without getting their permission. That's spam. And if you don't ask them ahead of time, if you want to do that, that works. I don't like it because there's no automation or leverage. I like automation. You want to ask them. You're just starting with legacy builders. Well, welcome, Michael. You live in New Jersey. I lived in New Jersey for a while. It's a great program if you plug in the community. We are starting a 90-day run on Monday that Michelle's doing. That's the 15th. Those are really good to follow. She gives a 5 to 10 minute video every day. That's an action step. So the videos aren't terribly long that you can, and if you work a full-time job or if you got other things going, you can get it in. But it's a great program. Good morning, Digital Mommy. Good morning, Logan, Raven. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media if you got a question. And kudos to Michael for answering, because most people don't say anything. And I've done this myself where I've jumped on people's lives. There's really nothing you have to do. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. You don't have to show your face. People, and I see people that jump on and off, and they're not just jumping on my lives, they're jumping on other people's lives, because many of us that we do this every day. And I have not used live streaming like this as a marketing strategy. I have gone live in the past. It's not that hard. You're basically hitting a button, but I haven't used it as a marketing strategy. I've created tons of videos. Like I have over 5,000 videos I've created over multiple platforms. Video, I didn't want to get on. One of my a mentor of mine was saying you should do video marketing because video marketing is really powerful. I didn't want to get on camera. I swore I didn't want to get on camera, but at that time I was in foreclosure, so I had to get over that quickly. And I realized a lot of people don't want to get on camera. We do teach faceless marketing. That works, but that is going to take longer. I mean, people really want to see you. You can also use AI, and I got an AI or I course in June. I took, and I've been going through it and creating content with AI. It saves me time. I've been doing this for a long time, so there's thousands of videos with me on it. But some of these AI courses, and the one I took, you make an AI twin. It really does look like you. And I have software that they tell you about that I can record my own voice. So it's my own voice. I'm not using someone else's. And there's a lot of AI videos. People are just picking an avatar for the picture and the voice, and that works. And I did try that out. I got an app. Those videos didn't do very well. The other ones where I'm using a twin, they do really much better. So there's all kinds of things you can do with AI. I wanted to learn AI, and I'm using a bunch of different softwares that I've had to learn how to use. It's not going away, and I think right now is the time to learn it. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Digital Mommy. And I think there's a lot of people, they're afraid of AI, and I tell you not to be afraid of it. It's not going away. And in fact, if you go out to Google and you search now, that first, how it gives you responses, that first response that's coming up, that is AI. I mean, I'll give you the rest of the results below that, but Google's using it, Meta's using it. You'll see it more and more. It's not going away. And so I just decided it would be better if I learned it. And it saved me a ton of time with my creating content. And the course I took, it showed me a couple different kinds of videos you can do. But AI is not going away. And if you're afraid of it, I tell you not to be afraid of it. So if you're jumping on, anybody doing anything exciting this weekend? Do we have any football fans or baseball fans? I'm both. And my Philadelphia Phillies, we're going to probably clinch the East, and now we're trying to get the best record to get home field advantage. And I'm also an Eagles fan, and on Sunday they both play. So that's what I will be going live here in the morning. The first game doesn't start till 1. I'm also a movie buff. Any movie buffs on here? When I'm not doing this and working from home, it gives me the time freedom to do what I want to do, spend more time with family and friends. If I need to do something, I don't have to ask. And when you have a job, if you need time off, you got to ask. In fact, the job I lost, and that was 14 years ago, you had to fill a form out, and then had to get to my boss, and she had to prove it. So if you had something last minute that you decided to take the day off, or you decided to take a vacation, you might not get it back in time, and you can't take the time off without getting her approval. Kind of felt like, I don't know, a prisoner school. They had to, you're signing in and signing out. And I did have one job where you had to punch a time clock, which, you punch in when you come in the morning, you punch out when you go to lunch, you punch in when you come back, you punch out when you leave for the day. They were constantly watching you, and it really does seem like a prison. This industry, and there's so many of us that, we've left. And I didn't work in corporate America. I worked in nonprofits. I worked in cancer research. You're stuck in that. And I had a 2 to 3 hour commute, which I don't miss. Good morning, John. Good morning, Colin. I don't miss spending 2 to 3 hours doing highway driving, going back and forth every day, and then dealing with weather, or if there's an accident or something with the traffic or police activity that ends up making the traffic worse. Because going home as the week wore on, it got longer and longer to go home. And I remember a day we were getting a little bit of snow where I live. I left at 4 o'clock. I didn't get home till after 7. So that took me over 3 hours, and I do not miss that. Anybody here working a job? I know some people, they're at work and they jump on these when they're at work. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. And Michael was the only person that's come on today. Now I've had a few other people. Thank you, Dibba, for liking my live. I really appreciate it. Anybody else wants to like it, I appreciate it. Good morning. Is it Both Hazar? I'm probably not saying that correctly. Good morning, Digital Mommy 11. If you're jumping on, I'd love to know where you're coming in from. If you got a question, drop in the comments. I can do a training on these. I did have somebody ask me to do a training on social media marketing, which I did. I also did one about email marketing, because if you're using social media and you're not using email marketing, you're missing out, because the reality is you're sending people to either a page with information a replicated website or sales page. And the issue with that is you only have one opportunity to talk to the person. And yeah, I do get sales on first touch, but most people have to see something multiple times. And to give you a really good example, I had somebody, she got on my email list last October of 2024. I did talk to her a few times on TikTok. She ended up buying something from me in July, this past July. So she was on my email list for 10 months before she did anything. So people do have to see something multiple times. And it really doesn't matter what you're doing. If you've got a business online, offline, if you've got a cause you're supporting or a message you're trying to get out and you're just sending people to a page with information, the best scenario is to send them to a capture page or a website where you get their email, and then you give them something away for free. Like I have a free PDF that outlines the 2-hour workday we're doing. Give them something that's congruent with what you're doing. I mean, if you're niche and know your niche, that's one of the first things I tell people: know your niche. What are you doing? And you could be gardening, or it could be weight loss. That's one of the health and fitness niche is one of the biggest niches. You could be doing something with weight loss. You could give away a free PDF like 5 tips how to lose weight without starving yourself, because what you're doing then is you're giving them that freebie in exchange for their email address, and then they become a subscriber because you want to build an email list. If you're doing this, yeah, use social media, but you don't own your social media accounts. You don't control them. You can lose them at any time. I had 10 TikTok accounts I lost. I had one, I had over 200,000 followers. I had 3 Instagram accounts somebody hacked. My main one went shopping with my card, ran ads, and then deleted it. I had 2 other Instagram accounts. Instagram suspended them, and then they did not rule in my favor. So I had to start again. And I stayed off TikTok for over a year because I was so disgusted. I put so much work into that. And then last June, I started this TikTok account. I started posting 3 videos a day, did the same thing with a new Instagram account. And now I just hit 100,000 followers on TikTok. I got monetized on TikTok. I also am close to 100,000 followers on Instagram. I'd be monetized over there, but they don't have a program. They discontinued it. But you can get the platforms. And I've been monetized on YouTube. I lost it. I'm trying to get it back now. I need more watch hours. But if you meet their minimum qualifications like TikTok, you have to have 10,000 followers and you have to have 100,000 views in the last 30 days to qualify to apply. But they're paying me for being on, like doing lives like this, posting videos. They have TikTok's a little different. They've got a couple ways to make money. YouTube, you just make money when you get approved. You let Google run ads on your videos, and then when somebody clicks on them, you make money. Good morning, Marina. Good morning. Is it Udoka? I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. I apologize. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you can like my video, I'd really appreciate it. Whether you're on my Instagram, not my Instagram, YouTube or TikTok. But if you have a question, drop in the comments. And I was just talking about if you're using social media, doesn't matter what, you don't own your accounts, you don't control them, you can lose them at any time. I've lost many of them. So you want to get people on an email list. And there is software you need called an autoresponder that lets you, and the one I have is all-in-one, lets you set up a website and attach emails that go out for you automatically. You're from Nigeria, so welcome. Good morning, is it Wina? Where you're coming in from? Good morning, GUD. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Wina, thank you so much for liking the video. But I was just talking about that. No matter what you're using social media for, you don't own your accounts. You don't control them. You can lose them at any time. So you want to be building an email list. You own that. You control it. And you do need software. Most softwares will let you start for free. But depending on their program, when you get to a certain number of subscribers, then you have to start paying for it. It's an asset. You may have heard the money's in the list. That's true. But you don't, if you're sending, doesn't matter what you're using social media for. If you're sending people just to a page with information and you're not getting their information, their email address, you really want to start thinking about doing that, because you're probably not going to get the results that you want. People can only see whatever it is you're doing on the website or the replicated website you have or sales page, whatever you're sending people to, and that's it. They're gone. You don't have an opportunity to keep talking to them. Most people are not going to do something on first touch. And I just shared a really good example of somebody who she got on my email list last October of 2024. I did talk to her a couple times in the middle of that on TikTok, and she bought something from me in July. Good morning, Michelle. How are you? How's Gigi? How's John? That's my sister-in-law jumping on my live. Good morning, Daniel. Where are you coming in from? So that's why I'm saying no matter what reason, and most of you are on here because you're either looking for a way to make money or you've been trying and you're not getting the result that you want. So you're jumping on these lives. And if you're on social media, you've got the opportunity to get in front of 5 billion people for free. You want to learn how to use it correctly, and you want to send them to something where you're capturing their email address, and preferably you're giving them something away for free. It's not that hard. You can make a PDF. You can make an ebook. If you get whatever you're promoting, if they got a webinar, you can get a copy of that and give them access to a free webinar training, something of value that's congruent with what you're doing in exchange for their email address. Because you only have, if you're just sending them to a page, you've only got one opportunity to keep talking to them. And then once they're gone, that's it. And I spent the whole first year I did that. I was sending people to I was setting up pay-per-click ads. I spent $3,000. I was sending traffic to a replicated website, which they got one opportunity to look, and that's it, and then they're gone. And I did that for a year, spent $3,000 on the ads. I bought the website. I don't even remember what I paid for the website. I didn't make any money. And I know now you don't want to send traffic to a replicated website or a sales page or just a page with information. And you don't know what you don't know. If I had a mentor and I didn't have a mentor that said, like, you don't want to do that because it doesn't work. So if you're doing that and you are using social media, you want to get people's email addresses. Foza Leon, I'm not sure, I'm probably not pronouncing that correct. You're saying yes to what? Good morning, Juan. Thanks for jumping on. If you can like my video, I'd really appreciate it. It doesn't matter if you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel. I have software that lets me stream in both places. So I've got YouTube up on my MacBook Pro, and I got TikTok. Thanks, Michelle, for liking the video. I appreciate it. I've got TikTok up on my my phone, so you can live stream in multiple places. And the software I use lets me do that. It's the technology that we have, and you could live stream when I first started this, but I don't believe at that time there was any software to live stream in more than one place. So good morning, user 8179. Thank you for liking the live. I really appreciate it. What do people call you? Good morning, Debbie. Good morning, user 81795. What do people call you? TikTok does do that. If you don't put your name or something on your profile, they just issue you a number. And there's a couple of people jumping. Joshua, I know, Joshua, you've been on before. TikTok just gives you a username, so people don't know your name. And you want to put your name or what people call you by. You want to put a good picture of yourself. Because when people come to your profile is kind of like your storefront. You're telling people, people can see a picture of you because people want to know you're real. And you're telling people what you're about, why you're on the platform. If you're just messing around, although some of you, you're not putting your names on your profiles or pictures, but you're jumping on my live. I'm sure you're jumping on other people's lives. You're looking for something. And there's a way, I call it optimizing your profile, that you want to set your profile up correctly so people know what you're about. And there's an awful lot of people today, and Joshua was just saying his name, but their profile saying user, and then TikTok gives you, it's a long string of numbers. I'm not going to start reading them all out, but you're not putting your name, you're not putting a picture. And today with all the fake accounts and AI, and how easily, and it's pretty easy for somebody. If somebody wants to break into your house or car, they'll figure it out. It's the same thing online. They want to break into an account of yours. They know how to do it. And I talked to Meta about the fake accounts because people always say report it. Meta doesn't do anything. They say it's not against their community guidelines. It's not a violation to make fake accounts. And I've got how many people, because I've got a following here on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, making fake accounts of me. I am verified on Instagram, and I pay for that. That if and I don't message people. I don't say, oh, come over to WhatsApp or Telegram. I don't use those platforms. If people are messaging you and trying to get money out of you, it's not me. The way you can tell a fake account, each platform only what lets one username. So like on TikTok, it's the real Linda Bomba. If you look at people at the fake accounts, there's something in the username that's slightly different. There's an extra letter, a number, a symbol, or something, and then they steal my picture, they steal my videos, and they post them on an account and try to look like me. And then they start messaging people that are following me. And they're trying to get you over on Telegram or WhatsApp. They're trying to get money from you. I don't do crypto. I don't do Forex. It's not me. So be careful out there. And I know I haven't looked recently, but there's at least 10 accounts of TikTok of me. And I can say the same on the other platforms I'm on because and Meta has said that it's not against their community guidelines violation. They started charging people to have a social media account. It would probably cut down on the number of them. And some people, you might take it a little bit more seriously if you were paying for it, because you can use any of these platforms for free. Winnie, you just got a number 3 gift badger. Good morning. Is it Bonnie, Bombi, Bobi? I'm not pronouncing that correct. It looks like Bonnie, but it's Bonnie Bell. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. So that's why, I mean, with all the fake accounts on social media, if anybody's messaging you, I don't do crypto or Forex, it's not me. Look at the username, and you can do that on any platform. Each platform only lets one username. And on TikTok, I'm the real Linda Bomba. If you go look closely, there'll be an extra letter, an extra number, a symbol in there that's not on mine. And on Instagram, I'm real Linda Bomba. I'm verified over there. It's harder to get verified on TikTok. I do pay for that. But if it's not a verified account, it's not me. And you can go up and look at it. If you take a really good look at the handle name, there's something extra in there, a number, a letter, or a symbol, and they've just stolen, they take your pictures, your images, a picture of you, they've stolen my videos, they do that. Anybody that's got any kind of following, they do that. And then you see all these accounts coming up with their fake accounts. And then they're trying to message people, say, be careful. I don't use Telegram or WhatsApp. So if they're telling you to come over to talk to me, I don't. And I don't message people on private message people on any platform. Now, if you ask me for my freebie, you will get a message. I do have software that I use that will send you where to go to get my free PDF. It's my website, but I don't message people. I'm fine, and I'm not going to try your name because I'll probably butcher it. But welcome. How are you doing today? Where are you coming in from? And Chuckwisco, and I probably didn't pronounce that correctly. I apologize. Where are you coming in from? Good morning, Marie. And I was just talking about that with the fake accounts on social media. Be careful. I don't private message people unless you ask me for my freebie, and I use software. You're going to get a message with a link. And TikTok right now is not even letting me answer people. They're issuing community guidelines violations. So if you private message me, you can't get an answer. But if you're commenting on one of my videos, TikTok is out on one of their whatevers, and they're giving community guidelines violations. That's why I think I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok. And I've had a lot of accounts. I stayed off of it after I lost my last account with 200,000 followers. I stayed off of TikTok for over a year because I put all that work in, and then it's gone like that. So that's why you want to build an email list. If you're solely relying on social media, you're from Nigeria. Okay, well, welcome. You don't own your accounts. You don't control them. You could lose them at any time. And that's why you want to be building an email list. And yeah, you need software called an autoresponder. Most of them you can start for free. The one I use, you can start and get up to 2,000 subscribers for free. But you want to build a list. You want to get past 2,000 subscribers, and then you have to start paying for it. It's an asset. It's a cost of doing business. And that's where you can automate everything. You can attach to your website a bunch of emails that are automatically scheduled to go out on your behalf. And that's where the automation comes. It runs 24/7 for you. No matter what you're doing, you're sleeping, you're doing something else. And that's automation. And you definitely want to be using that. And that's why you want to use a tool like an autoresponder and send people from your social media account to get on your email list. And if you're not doing that, I don't do the Adidas program, and I tell you in the video if you want to go sign up what to do. You may not get accepted, and I don't do that because they only pay 1 to 5%. So if you want to, and yeah, it's free. All everybody that's attracted to free, they're only going to pay you 1 to 5% if they approve you. And if you get any sales. So if you want to make even $500 a month, you're going to have to get hundreds of sales a month. To me, that's not worth it. I average 900 a sale. So if I get 12 sales in a month, that's 10,800. That's totally worth it. But for what Adidas is paying you, and 80% of companies in the world have affiliate programs. It's affiliate marketing. It's been around for decades. You could go to Nike. They have one. You could go to Target, Walmart, Amazon. 80% of companies do. You could scroll down to the bottom of the website. If they've got one, they post something about it there. On average, they all pay 1 to 5%. That is not worth it to me. And then they're not going to give you any training or mentoring. You're not going to have a system, and you need all those things to be successful. So unless you're an expert on using social media, or you have an audience somewhere you have influence over, or an email list, you're probably not going to make any money. And people have gone crazy over that. I mean, it's not, to me, it's just not worth it. Yeah, it's free. And for everybody looking, I have a free PDF that outlines the blueprint I use. And I spent a whole year when I got into this industry. I didn't have a mentor, I didn't have training, and I didn't have a proven system, and I didn't make any money. So if you want to go try something yourself and spend a year because it's free, and think that you're gonna be making money from it. And any of the companies that have affiliate programs like that, yeah, they're looking for people that they'll let you sign up for free that will sell their stuff. They're going to make more per sale than you. That's why I do digital marketing, because it's 100%, and they're only going to pay you like 1 to 5%. So it's a lot easier for me to get 12 sales a month than it is to get hundreds. And you would need hundreds even to get to make like $500. And people on here, most of you are, I do believe you're looking for ways to make money from home. Some people just want to make like $500, an extra $500, an extra 1,000, maybe an extra 2,000, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. Because there's a lot of people working more than one job because they can't make ends meet. And I know every time I go to the grocery store, I could buy the exact same thing. The next week, it's more money than it was before. So people are really struggling and not being able to make it on like one income. We have a woman in our group who was working 2 jobs. She never had any time to do anything else or spend with her kids, and she was exhausted. And she joined our program, got in our community, and now she was able to leave both of those jobs because she's making enough money doing digital marketing that she doesn't need to work those 2 jobs anymore. She can spend time with her kids. She can do stuff, do stuff with them. Yeah. And TikTok is notifying me. So they send me a thing saying, making me complete a puzzle. Otherwise, they're going to end the live like in 5 minutes. So if you're jumping on, if you got any questions, I did commit to doing these for an hour every day, and it's coming up close on my hour. So if you have a question, drop a comment now, because I'm going to end this soon. If you need help with something, drop that in the comments too. I'd be glad to do a training on that if it's something I've done. If it isn't, I don't think it's ethical to train or teach in something you haven't done, but I probably can give you a resource. Excuse me. I had a guy jump on my YouTube live the other day that wanted to learn about CPA marketing. I know what it is. I've never done it. I've never made any money with it, so I really can't. He wanted me to do a video, but I did give him some resources. I know a lot of things. I don't know everything. I know I've met a lot of people, so I can probably, if it's not something I've done, give you a resource. And I did do one. Somebody asked me to do one social media marketing, which I did, and I did one. It was a couple of weeks ago on email marketing, because if you're using social media, you want to be using email market. If you're not, you're missing out. Thanks for sharing the live. I appreciate that. Good morning, Tracy. If you're not doing that, you are missing out, because you're only getting one opportunity to talk to people. They're going to go to your page and they're off that. So you want to send them either to a capture page, a website, a squeeze page, a landing page. They're all the same thing. There's ones on it where there's a place there for you to put your email address in, and then ideally you should be giving something away for free. I have a free PDF. People get an email from me with a link with the PDF. They can download it. They can save it to the computer. It's theirs to keep. Whatever you're doing, it's ideal that you want to give them something away for free. It's not that hard to make a PDF or an ebook, or if you're promoting somebody else's thing, if they've got a free webinar training, that you could send people to that. Something that's free, that's a value, that they can learn something. That's preferable, and then you get them on your email list, and then you can keep talking to them. And you do need software called an autoresponder. You can start with one for free, but after you get to so many subscribers, you have to pay for it. Like the one I have gives you up to 2,000 subscribers for free. It's an asset. You want to be building it. It's the only thing online you own and control, because you don't own and control your social media accounts. You could lose them anytime. So good morning, Begets. Good morning, Chris. Where are you coming in from? So I am going to end this like in a minute or less. If you have a question, drop in the comments. If not, if you have something you want some help with, you can drop that in the comments. I am here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern. I will be here again tomorrow. So if you have questions, you could bring them back. You could come back tomorrow with it, because I am going to end this now. I appreciate you all for jumping on. Thank you for those that liked the live. I really appreciate it. It helps my account, and I will see you guys tomorrow.